चुप 2 मिनट के लिए. Hello, gentlemen and ladies, boys and girls out there. Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, so at least I know my voice is out there and coming to you. And my screen will be on in a moment. बहुत लैग है. कनेक्शन तो एक्सीडेंट बोल रहा है. कुछ बोल भाई. Arslan, hi. Can you hear me? Just wanted a sound check if everything's working fine. Ashwani, hi. Jasraj, Balaji, hi. Yes, Altaf, I'm very much here. Just wanted to do a sound check. Arti, Shagaf, Alam, nice to see you guys. Just wanted a sound check. Okay, excellent. And the voice is clear. Just confirm for me, please. Thank you, Ashwani. Thank you. Okay, going live in a few seconds.
If you're looking to make Canada your home, simply ask Kubeir.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, can you hear me? Can you see me? Give me some thumbs up, give me some likes. And with me today, Meena Dowlwani. Okay, she is an amazing human being. She is a founder of Destination CEO. Okay, a strong believer in mentor-mentee programs. She has taken this amazing burden upon herself to help people find jobs in Canada. Okay, a disclaimer before we start. This broadcast for today is not about helping you find jobs if you do not have a status in Canada, okay? Because that is going to be under a different session that we will do. Because for that, obviously, employers need to apply for an LMIA, labor market impact assessment, which is a bit of a tedious process, and that is more or less an employer-based system. Today, we're going to talk about people who are already in Canada, who are preparing to come to Canada, people who are students in Canada, looking for jobs in Canada, etc., etc. Will you agree finding a job in Canada is a difficult affair?
No.
No? Okay.
I won't.
Okay. She says finding a job is not a difficult one. Let me hear some of you guys. What do you think? Is it a difficult one to find a job? Or what do you think? But why do you say it's not difficult? Because everybody out there says it's so difficult to find a job in Canada.
Finding a job in Canada is not difficult at all because it's a job. A job that makes you money. Starting your career, however, in your field may take a little longer and a unique perspective and a discipline and a routine and a strategy.
Interesting. Now, finding a job is not a problem. Finding your career or finding your feet within your career. Now, that's a very key point over there. But before we get into this discussion, and we will be, thank you so many of you coming in. I'm glad to see you guys here. Let me ask one more question, or rather, first, let me formally introduce Meena to you. Meena Dowlwani, okay, she is the founder of Destination CEO. She is also faculty. She teaches in the Humber College. And can you imagine, or can you guess what her subject of teaching is? Yeah, okay. Careers, tech careers?
Careers in technology,
Okay.
yes.
Why did you choose this particular subject as your expertise in wanting to teach?
When I came to Canada, I myself suffered a lot and went through a lot of challenges. So my passion has always been that I create resources, tools, opportunities, and connections where people who are coming to Canada do not suffer similar challenges. Like, for example, how to find your first job in Canada. what is this whole volunteering about? No Canadian experience. That was a thing when I arrived 20 years ago. But now, no employer can discriminate that against you because it's illegal.
Okay, so you're saying it's illegal to discriminate. For example, somebody cannot tell you that you don't have a Canadian work experience. I mean, that would be discrimination. Is that what you're saying?
100%.
Okay, so how does then one go about establishing Canadian work experience? Because that seems to be a major challenge for plenty of people.
Well, it needs to start with a goal, right? You need to have a goal on exactly what it is that you're targeting to get into. So, for example, if you are an IT professional or if you are an engineer, both of you have different methods, different strategies of getting started. Where engineering is a regulated career, but IT is not a regulated career, right? So first step for any careers is to set a smart goal.
Okay, something went wrong there. No audio, video is implying. Okay, something seems to be an issue. The current. Why is that an issue? What happened? Use a Steam bitrate of 2500. Okay, so use a Steam bitrate of 2500. Why are you asking me? Why are you telling me?
What happened?
Where is the bitrate? Why did that happen? Sorry about that, guys. We're just trying to sort out why was the video getting stuck. Thank you, Bala. Yeah, comments itself is not uploading. I'm not sure where the issue is coming from. We are just figuring out this technical issue. Just give me one moment. I'll just come back on the stream. क्या है भाई काय को
क्या बोल रही क्या बहुत ज़्यादा लोग आ गए
नहीं ज़्यादा तो बहुत ही कम लोग हैं actually this needs to go out on the net is very slow तभी तो frames drop हो रहे हैं सारे हाय ऐसा मत करो यार हाँ बेटा
Do you want to log in as me to see?
Too late to do all that. एक स्क्रीन को लोड होने के लिए it's taking forever.
यहाँ पे तो fastest net है.
Okay, current bitrate is audio is back. बहुत ही slow है. चलो, we just go on with it. So a lot of it did not actually go through. Right, guys, coming back to you in a moment. Okay, all right. So basically, what we are trying to do is we are broadcasting this from the Humber College, and we are logged into the guest network over here, and apparently we are having a bit of a Wi-Fi and network issues. But bear with me, we will continue with this stream. There might be a bit of buffering, for which I apologize. But sorry, where were we? I'm sorry about that, guys. Yeah, so you were saying about Canadian experience and why people struggle with that. We have to recollect our thoughts, okay? Because we were lost for a bit trying to figure out where the issue is.
We talk about different careers, right? And different careers expect different strategies. But the first and the most important thing about careers is your goal? What is it that you want to achieve? If you are a tech professional, or if you are an engineer, or if you are into marketing, right? What is your first goal? Um, One of the things that most people forget, specifically if they're coming from different parts of the world, because they're so used to the big brands and the large organizations, they do not know that there is a startup culture here.
Okay.
And 80% of jobs currently are in the startup culture.
Okay. So you're saying that people shouldn't concentrate on the big brands and instead be open in their heads to accepting a challenging position, maybe with a startup?
Well, they should try big brands too, but at the same time be open to entering the startup culture, because that's what Canada is all about. We bring in so many immigrants and they go into entrepreneurship, right? And when it's entrepreneurship, they get a lot of funding, so they need to hire. And this is where I said getting a job versus a career are two different things. You can walk into any retail outlet, you can walk into fast food, you can walk in a factory and just about get a job. But that's not really, well, in some cases, great, but that's not really why you're coming to Canada.
Okay, so what Meena is saying is instead of concentrating on finding a job, concentrate on building a career. Okay, and building a career, obviously, you will have to start from the scratch. Is that what you're saying then when you come to Canada?
You need to have a strategy.
Okay.
So let's say you're a senior professional and you've got 20 years of project management experience. Now, project management requires certain skills, and that doesn't mean you can immediately land in Canada and get a job as a project manager. You may have to look at project coordination.
Okay.
So you're still in the same field, you're walking the same journey, but you are starting off one step lower just so that you get accepted and you can grow immensely.
Okay, so, but tell me, I mean, and I'm sure most of you are going to agree with that. Why would somebody be willing to accept one step lower? For example, I mean, why is it that Canada would not acknowledge my experience back home? For example, well, I mean, I'm talking to you. You're wondering that you have 10 years of experience as a senior professional. So why wouldn't Canada account and accept that 10 years of professional experience? And why should you have to start from 1, 2, 3 steps below than what you would have otherwise?
I would say target one step below. Target your step as well, but also try one step below. Only because you see, Canada is the landscape in Canada, the work culture is very different, and they like to grow their people, they like to promote within. So if there is a project manager position and there's a project coordinator who's been working for, let's say, 5 years or 3 years, growing into that position, as an external applicant, you will compete with an internal applicant.
Okay.
And it's obviously the internal applicant that will have a preference.
Okay, so again, basically what we are saying is that get your foot in the door. Okay?
Get your
Get
foot in
your
the
foot in the
door,
door,
yes.
okay? And then climb as you climb the corporate ladder. I mean, most of you already who are in the corporate structure understand that preference is given to people who are inside the company. It's a motivational tool as well, I guess.
Yes, I mean, if you were in that position and you wanted to grow and you've been working hard, imagine somebody else coming in. The other thing also, let's say you're in India and you've been working with only Indians, and now you come to Canada and you're working with a diverse culture. You need to understand how to also work with diverse culture, how to work with people from China, from Russia, from Middle East. So you need to also get a better understanding of the different way things run. In Canada, there isn't much of a hierarchy.
Okay.
It's open door policies. It's lateral.
I can walk into my boss's office and say, hey, Pete, let's go for a drink.
Uh, yeah.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Most cases.
uh, okay, I mean, I'm stumped to rephrase this question. I mean, I'm trying to phrase this question well I mean, from the lot of questions that I can already see, a lot of you are asking, guys. Okay, I mean, I can see some questions about CRS codes, etc., etc. This Arsalan, this Broadcast has got nothing to do with CRS scores. It has got nothing to do with what's happening with PNPs, what's happening with proof of funds, what's happening with reference letters, etc., etc. We have done plenty of those videos. This one is concentrating only about job market, job conditions, what is Canadian work experience. Once you come to Canada, how will you find your job? How not to struggle while trying to get your career. Okay, so let's concentrate on the subject today, so that the people who are looking for that specific information do not deviate away. But since there are so many of you out there who still haven't managed to get your status in Canada, what would be your suggestion or recommendation for them? As in, do you think people who are not in Canada yet, or who still haven't achieved a status, or rather, when I'm saying achieved a status, I mean who haven't secured your permanent residency or a work permit, do you think they have a chance of getting a job in Canada from outside Canada?
I think a strategy needs to be involved. There are, the first and most important step, like I said, was to figure out your goal, what it is that you want to do. And then it's about what are the blocks that are stopping you from getting that dream job or dream career started. And the two different types of blocks are the internal blocks and the external blocks. For example, your internal block is to get your status in
Okay.
Canada.
Yes, of course.
Right? And your external block could be not knowing enough people in Canada in your relevant field. So when you start thinking, okay, I want to go to Canada, I'm going to apply for my papers, I'm waiting for my status, what should you really start doing in that time frame? So if you're a project manager, you want to start connecting with project managers that are working in your industry here in Canada, let's say in Toronto, if that's where you're planning to go, or Vancouver, and start talking to them about, how is the workplace culture? What are some things that they do differently versus what you do in your part of the world, right? To understand that perhaps it is 6 months before you arrive, and they say, you know what, this particular skill or this particular course is very helpful when you come to Canada, because this is going to help you immediately get started.
Okay.
So recently we had two project coordinators in Destination CEO as newcomers, as participants. And when I say newcomers, it's the pinch of salt. One of them had been job searching for a year, another one had been job searching for 3-4 years, right? We were able to get them their dream job in a very large organization with the help of a mentor. And guess what? Their salary is close to 6 figures.
Wow.
So,
Okay, 6 figures.
close to.
I'm only trying to pinch one of those figures.
Me too, eh?
Okay.
So that's the beauty of it, right? Depends on the organization, depends on the budgets, depends on the finances. So you need to start digging in. You pick 5-10 companies of your choice, start talking to people within those companies. Tell them that you are coming to Canada, that you are looking to get started. What are some of the things they can guide you or advise you so that you can start your prep? There are also some phenomenal pre-arrival courses.
Yeah, I've heard of them. I mean, okay, on that note, pre-arrival courses, okay, some of you are wondering, so Meena, what makes you an expert? I mean, what? Okay,
We just launched our pre-arrival course.
Okay, so what makes Meena an expert? Let's ask her, because I mean, we have her here today talking about how to find a job. Meena, how long have you been doing this? I mean, helping people, guiding people, counseling people, finding jobs.
Almost 20 years.
Wow, 20 years?
Yes.
How old was I 20 years back?
Never mind, you're in your diapers, but that's
okay,
okay.
all right, fair enough.
The lighting hides my hair.
Yeah, I'm sure about that. Okay, so, one thing that people need to understand, that though Canada is the second largest country in the world, the population is only 37 million people, which basically means we are spread out across the east and the west coasts, and from my last statistics reading that I did, it said 90% of Canada is uninhabitable, which basically means everybody is living only within the 10% of the land. So if you spread those 37 million people out, you will realize that lots and lots of places in Canada are very scantily populated, which basically means that the fight for finding a job is going to be, tricky. But I'm not going to say it's going to be impossible, because it doesn't mean anything as such, but it is going to be a challenge. And that's where people like Meena or her company comes into play. Tell me about Destination CEO, and somebody is asking me, how can you help? I mean, that's what we are all about, right? Helping. So what does Destination CEO do? And why do you call it Destination CEO? I know of Destination Canada. Everybody wants to come to Canada. So what does this Destination CEO mean?
Well, it means you are the CEO of your destiny.
Oh, I am the Chief Executive Officer of my destiny. Okay,
That's true.
makes sense. All right.
That's true.
For once, at least I can call myself a CEO. Right, sorry.
Every one of us,
Yeah.
actually. Well, so our Destination CEO started 10 years ago, but we officially branded it 5 years ago. So we just celebrated our 5th-year anniversary.
Okay.
And it's a group of mentors, it's a group of senior leaders that have all come together, who have been through struggles in getting employed, who have had amazing and challenging journeys. And we've all gotten together and we have decided that we want to help as many of you as possible finding your dream careers. We help you with the tools, we help you with the strategies, we help you with the guidance, and we help you with opportunities. So,
Okay.
in short, we are a social enterprise that helps newcomers, new grads, international students, and professionals in transition start or restart their careers in Canada.
Okay, so then can you also help people who haven't come to Canada yet but have a status in Canada? When I'm saying have a status, so basically what I'm trying to say is, for example, you have secured your permanent residency, but you intend to come to Canada maybe 3 months later, 6 months later, a few months later, or you've come to Canada, you've done your soft landing, as we know what it means, and you've gone back to settle your affairs, and but you have a status in Canada. You can legally work in Canada. How can you help those people who are not yet in Canada?
We run the pre arrival program, which is a completely online program. And in this online program, we help you with the tools. You know, I was talking about the goals, the blocks, the strategy.
Okay.
We help you with all of that online. And we have mentors, these senior leaders that are hiring managers that get involved and they train you. We also have mentors that go internationally and meet with you and give you those, tips and tools and guidances. So they do the mentoring sessions face to face. Of course, we'd like to promote it more online because you can be any part of the world, log in as far as you have a good Wi-Fi. Not like ours right now, but you should be able to log in, get all the information, work with us, and we do live sessions. So similarly, like we're doing live today, this is my first time, so I'm a bit nervous.
Very nervous.
Hopefully you can't see it. But you get to talk to me, you get to talk to our mentors, you get to engage so that before you get here, you have a strong resume. You have mentors in place. You have interviews lined up. You have your resumes, not only created, but also verified, reviewed, and ready so that, when you get all of your tools ready, you have your sessions done, you land here. Then it's about settlement. So you need about 3 to 4 weeks till you get your foot, in Canada sorted, you get settled. I mean, today we have -13, but it feels like -21.
It's been extremely cold today. I mean, I was shivering to my bone, absolutely.
Yes, but if you see outside, the sun is shining and it doesn't look like it, except the ground is white. That's the snow, right? So you want to get used to the environment. You need to get your OHEP, that's your health insurance and everything, your social insurance card, all of those ready. During that settlement process that you're going through, we set up events where you get to meet with your dream employers. You get to engage with them. So yeah, that's some of the things that we do with pre-arrival.
So you will actually help lining up interviews even before the person has arrived?
Yes, we'll teach you how to.
Okay, that's interesting. I mean, I wish I would have found you earlier. Okay, so what she's saying is, guys, as part of your arrival process, as part of your preparing to come to Canada, there are several programs available from IRCC as well, where you can, join them, orientation, etc., etc. But what Meena does, okay, which is not part of IRCC as such, but this is part of them being a social enterprise and still helping. Mind you, it's not free because obviously it comes with a little bit of cost, tiny cost, but they do help you format your resume, which we all understand is very critical because coming from India, I have seen a resume which is 10 pages long, okay, which has your entire Janam Patri, as we call it, okay, or your astrological charts, and it will have your date of birth, your pictures, your parents' name, your place of birth, etc., etc. You know, the entire biodata, which absolutely is of no relevance in your resume. But you guys help format that, or you will format it for them.
We'll teach you how to customize it.
Yeah, teaching is
We'll-
important. Yeah, don't
yes.
want to do it. Yes.
I don't like to give you the fish to eat. I'd rather teach you how to fish.
Perfect.
So that, you're not stuck. You're not thinking, oh, Meena's in Toronto. It's middle of the night. What should I do? Right? So we teach you how to do things. And then once you've done it, we review it. We connect you with mentors who give you feedback. So it's not like, okay, here's a resume template, complete it. No, you complete it, you send it back to me. I will review it and tell you how it's done. Then we do that. You take that and then you send it to our mentors. And our mentors who are senior leaders in large organizations and startups and recruiters and people like myself, they'll give you feedback. And then once that is done, then we use that resume to connect with your dream employers and ask for
Oh,
feedback. So
okay.
it's a whole strategy. It takes time, it takes planning, but we've had successes where you land and within 3-4 weeks you're employed.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Now, that is something which most of us would like that happen, right? Okay, before we go into further details, one question that I would like to take, Guneet Keith says, can you share how we should approach our prospective employers? But before we get into that question, Guneet, very good question. What do you mean by mentor-mentee?
So
I'm sorry, why is that important, or why that becomes something which you should target?
if you're in India, you know that a mentor is termed as a guru.
Okay, Guru.
So
Guruji. Okay.
you need to have industry professionals who are either in your field or as hiring managers within organizations that you want to target. So somebody who's an expert in Canada doing things that you want to do, and you need that person to guide you in how you can get started.
Okay.
So that is a mentor. A mentor is technically your guru who will guide you. And here we have about 40 mentors that help people. And our guru team is just growing because more and more leaders who have been through these challenges want to get involved and want to help you.
Okay, so what she's saying is this is how it works. Uh, you have a team of almost 40 plus business leaders who were once a struggling new immigrant to Canada, or a newcomer to Canada, who could not or did not find jobs that easily, who have now come on the other side of the table. They have achieved success, they have climbed certain ladders in their profession, and now are giving back. Okay?
Giving back and making things easier
and,
for
and
you.
they are willing to become your your guide, and basically can show you how to avoid the pitfalls that they fell into while they were looking for jobs. Is that how this works?
That's right.
Okay.
And we're all volunteers. That means we don't get paid to give back.
Oh,
we
wow.
give back because we
Free,
want to.
free.
Ekdam free.
Okay, excellent. So now coming back to the question from Guneet Keith, can you share how we should approach a prospective employer?
Yes, I definitely can. The first and the most important part is research. Before you reach out to anybody for guidance, you need to research and understand why you think that that person technically should be somebody that deserves to give you guidance. So what are their achievements? What is their career journey? And when you reach out to somebody, let's say you're using the platform of LinkedIn, when you're reaching out to them, you want to first thank them and tell them how their journeys inspired you, and then credibly introduce yourself, who you are, what are some of your skills, and why you're reaching out. You see, professionals are really busy. We have a very, very busy schedule. For us to take out the time and give you guidance, there needs to be a purpose. So it's our passion, but there needs to be a purpose. If you just send a message and I get these hundreds of messages saying, hi, I'm so and so, I'm looking for a job in Canada. Well, so are thousands of others,
True,
right?
true,
You
absolutely.
haven't given me a reason why I should accept your emails, because I'm receiving hundreds of them. But if I were to just say hi, 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 then that's all I'm doing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Okay. Uh, some. Okay, yeah. Samil Imran says, please say something about jobs for doctors. Okay, I'll tell you guys. When you are talking about a licensed profession, whether it's medicine, whether it's nursing, whether it's pharmacy, whether it's dentistry, whether it's engineering, whether it's law, uh, the first and foremost your requirement is to obtain a license or a certification. Without that, you just cannot secure a job in that profession. Now, depending on what profession you are, you will need to check the regulatory bodies who are in Canada, who regulate these professions and these occupations. What are their requirements in terms of issuing these certifications and licenses? You can approach them. Most of them are very, very approachable. They will tell you what you need to do. And once you have achieved, or once you have obtained this license or certification, then comes the next or the major step which we are at right now, which we're talking about, of finding a job. Uh, because you're in a licensed profession, trust me, by the time you secure your certification or license, you will realize finding a job is very, very easy, because it's a licensed profession, so you guys are always in demand. Okay, so I hope that answers the question. Webab says, I'm a software tester in India. I'm moving to Canada in a couple of months. How can I get a job? Webab, for the last 30 minutes, that's all we have been talking about, how to find a job in Canada. Okay, so what you need to do is basically go back to this or other, watch this video from the beginning, and there'll be plenty of information that you can gather from. Now, Nisarg Betaswamy says, how to reach out to you. If you're reaching out to me, hey, naam to Kubeir hai, suna hoga, but if not, then you can obviously reach me out. But no, they're basically asking you how to reach out to you, because you are the person who's on a spotlight right now.
DestinationCEO.ca.
Okay, destinationceo.ca. Now that is their website that will have much more information about their programs and what they can do or what they do to help you. Canada Jao Bolre says, Kubeir, don't make too long videos as people will get bored after 30 minutes, even though the information you are sharing is very, very helpful. Canada Jao बोल रहे, आपको इसके लिए बोल रहे क्योंकि आप कनाडा जा नहीं रहे. Okay, this is not a video recording, my friend. This is a broadcast, and therefore when we come onto a broadcast which is live, a lot of information is shared much more in detail, and therefore the video is much longer. Our other YouTube videos are always between 10 to 20 minutes. So the minute you get bored, press that exit button and you'll be gone, my friend. Okay, Parth says, I'm moving to Canada in March. Okay, welcome to Canada, my friend. How is the scope of office administration? I heard it is a female dominated profession. What can be an alternative career for me?
Wouldn't that be fantastic? In a female dominated profession, you come in as the male?
And become the hero.
Exactly. How many positions can you get with the fact that you will be that diversity person who will get into this field?
Yeah, but no, there is no gender specific. I mean, today, Canada, the way Canada is and how diverse it is and how much they welcome diversity, there is no gender specific, or there is no bias towards any gender, including the X gender, in terms of the jobs opportunities, or the profession you choose to take. So I won't agree with that. You see, administration as such is such a vast subject. Okay, any kind of an industry, correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, like, administration, basically any kind of industry would need an administrative department.
Yes,
So
and
it's,
guess what? That is the most difficult placement to make, because the admin person is really the face and the voice of every company. So you just have to have your strategy and and target the right places. I do want to address that doctor's question, if you
yeah,
don't
yeah,
mind,
no,
very
please,
quickly.
please. Okay,
So,
doctor, here's another answer coming for you. Sorry.
because you did this, there's a very quick success story. So I have a friend who came from Pakistan. She was a doctor, a general practitioner, and because her kids were young and stuff, she did not really have the luxury of going back to school. So we researched, and she ended up getting a radiology certification, and after that she's become a radiology technician. She actually makes a lot more
Money.
money and has tons of properties over here. just because she is able to not only work for the hospitals but also able to work for other radiology clinics. So that's something that you may want to think, what is an alternative instant quick career for you to start as a doctor whilst you're pursuing your certification, of course, if that's what you want to do.
Interesting.
I hope that helped.
Okay, so Darry Thomas says, does any kind of Canadian certification give you an edge, even if you are a newcomer, especially in IT? And since you are the tech expert in careers, so does any specific certification or Canadian certification give you an edge?
A question for you: is Microsoft in India different to Microsoft in Canada or US? No. So
Transferable skills.
Transferable skills. Well, these are your technical skills, right? If you're in SQL Server or you are Oracle certified, you already have the skills. You just need to be able to showcase your talent to the right companies, to the right organizations. If you want to get a certification, by all means get it. You get to understand the Canadian workplace culture. But if you're thinking that that is the only route to employment, my friend, that's not very true.
Okay. Guys, again, my apologies because I can see a bit of a lag on the video, and the video and audio is not sort of syncing. And I apologize once again, but we will continue with this very, very important broadcast today. Okay, so I've had to drive 52 kilometers to come to this place. Okay, and Meena had to wake up very early in the morning and sort of get ready. And today is a Saturday, so we will continue with the session because we put in a lot of time. And my daughter, come here, come here. Come here, quickly. We are live, quick. And my daughter had to wake up in the morning and she had to sort of carry a lot of equipment for me. So I would like you to meet my daughter. She's Ira.
Hi.
Okay, we can't see you yet, so I'm going to check if I can see you. Yes, I can. Say hi.
Hi.
All right, go back to where you were sitting. So, Ira.
She's our lucky charm for the day.
Yeah, so she woke up early in the morning and helped me carry a lot of equipment to this place so that we could set this up. So obviously, regardless of the fact that there is a bit of a lag, we will continue. I hope you don't mind. So guys, I mean, as I said,
Okay.
I apologize for the lag between the audio and the video, but it's such an important subject. We will talk about it. Canada job bol rahe again. I appreciate that what you're saying, my friend. Sometimes it's so funny when I say Canada job bol rahe. I'm sure you're from Hyderabad because bol rahe to Hyderabadi hi ho sakta hai. Yes, I understand you're not talking for yourself, and I appreciate that you watch all my videos till the end. Even for the general public, if they are bored, okay, and that basically means the subject is not for them, the subject is not important to them. These videos are important for people who basically are interested in pursuing something very, very important for them. So, well, if it is boring, then nothing much I can
Then
do.
Khuda Hafiz.
Yeah,
Bye-bye.
because finding a job is such an important factor in your life when you come to Canada. As much information, as much details as you can get is less. So if we are trying to make an effort to give you that information and you think you're bored, well then anyways, I'm sure there are other people who can make better use of this with video and time. So I appreciate your comment. Thank you so much. I'm taking the next one from my favorite moderator, Mr. Balakumar. Mr. Balakumar, your question about ICT work permits and work permits, okay, I will answer it because obviously Meena would not be too familiar with ICTs and all. So intra-company transfer, if you have secured a work permit, you can always approach obviously, if it's an ICT work permit, basically means you'll have to work. It's a closed work permit. You will have to work for that employer. But how to get one? I mean, it's up to you. It's entirely up to you. If you have a specific skill set which allows you to provide additional benefit or which is of extreme value to your employer, then trust me, they will go out of the way to get you here. Okay, but if you have a generic skill set, then two things. Either you get in the queue because there are tons and tons of people who are waiting to get an intra-company transfer and come to Canada. So it'll be a long queue before your number would come. Or you use this time to effectively gain some skill sets which are extremely popular or are in demand, and therefore you will be bumped right in the on top of the queue. So those are the ways you can absolutely convince your employer to get you through. Okay, and then. So how does Destination CEO manage this mentor-mentee programs? I mean, what do? Do you arrange some meetups, or each mentor is assigned a mentee, or each guru is assigned each Dronacharya is assigned a Karan, or sorry, or for people who do not get the the context, or each guru or each teacher or each mentor is assigned a mentee or a student. How does this work exactly?
So we have a closed LinkedIn group for Destination CEO mentors.
It's a closed LinkedIn group, so it's only by invite.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
So when you become a part of Destination CEO, that is, as a participant, as a paid participant, you have access to all these mentors, and we teach you how to connect with the mentors as a practice on how you would connect with senior leaders or your hiring managers outside. The mentors will then set up a time to meet with you. It could be online, it could be on the phone, or it could be face to face, depending on where you are, where they are. And then they would begin the process of reviewing all of your job search tools and guiding you. And we do host events and we do host meetups. If you go on to destinationco.ca, you'll see videos and you'll see pictures from our previous events. You can also look up Destination CEO's LinkedIn page, and you can look at all the videos that we have done, success stories, mentor videos. But as I said, these are people who want to give
Well,
back
let me see if
to
I can
you.
pull it up. You said LinkedIn. Sorry,
Yeah.
go on. So you were saying, sorry, LinkedIn, and where on LinkedIn can I find this?
Just go to Destination CEO. There is a page.
Okay. You said it's closed page. So
Destination CEO page is open.
Okay.
The LinkedIn group
okay.
is closed.
Okay, all right. Sorry, so this is how you will basically put together
Yeah.
a group of mentors and mentees, right?
Yes, and we keep enhancing. So, for example, if you're in the financial career and you've only worked for banks, you want to come to Canada and work for banks. Now, right now, banks are having huge restructuring, but that doesn't mean that they're not hiring. They're hiring, but they're hiring through consultants and recruitment agencies. And guess what? The recruiters from some of those recruitment agencies are our mentors. So you can still effectively get a job working for a bank, but it would not be directly in the bank. It could be from the recruitment agency or from consultants like TCS,
Wow,
CGI,
okay.
right?
That's pretty cool. So you have recruiters who are also part of the
Yes,
mentor group. Okay,
yes.
that's good. My good friend Timothy, if you're watching, Timothy Eric,
Hey,
shout out to you.
Tim.
Shout out to you. I know at some point of time you will watch this. So yeah, I heard he's also a mentor.
He's not just a mentor, he's on the board of directors.
Oh wow. Okay. Tim is a very very close friend and a very very senior professional with one of the largest banks in Canada. I cannot take the name for various reasons. But yeah, I mean, and talk to me about how did you come about setting up this company or this Destination CEO that
Destination
you've
CEO,
done,
the
yeah.
phenomena.
The phenomena that you have, yes.
So I have been teaching and doing job development, which
Okay.
is helping people get jobs and creating opportunities for almost 20 years.
Okay.
And specifically within the academic culture for newcomers and for international students, it's been for the past 12 years. So I noticed that with the strategy that I created, at the max, you can get your offer letter within 8 weeks. But then when we started
Wow.
doing that, not in 8 weeks, but they started getting offer letters within 3 weeks, 4 weeks. So
Amazing.
we created this express bridging program, which you sign up. As I said, if you're in India, you're in Pakistan, you're a different part of the world, you do the pre-arrival process, you come over here, and then you get connected with the post-arrival, which is getting employed. So within 6 weeks, if you follow the strategy, if you follow the routine, the discipline that is involved, then I can almost guarantee you that you'd get a job in 6 weeks. If not 8 weeks, if it's a little longer.
Well, 6 to 8 weeks, if you can find a job in what you're looking for, that's pretty amazing. Uh,
And we have thousands of success stories. I'm not just saying because one or two people got jobs. No, you have thousands of success stories, and you can see at least 100 recommendations on my LinkedIn page. So
Okay.
feel free to connect with me if you're interested.
Good stuff. So first thing that you should do, guys, everybody out there, connect with Meena on her LinkedIn page. Okay, Meena Dowlwani. Dowlwani will go as Dowlwani.
That's
Correct?
right.
Excellent, right? Okay, so Abrar says, "Hey guys, I am currently in Canada but having a hard time getting interviews. Oh boy, haven't you heard of Destination CEO?"
How can you do
you are
that?
watching just the right kind of a broadcast, Abrar. He says, "I am already I have already updated my resume, but still not getting much success. How can I get help from you guys?
How can you get help? Well, connect with me. But the other thing I would also recommend, if you're not getting interviews, are you reaching out to the employers and asking for them? So, informational interviews are one of the best ways you can connect with literally anybody. Anybody, does not matter in Canada or otherwise, and ask for guidance. This way, when they do accept your request, you are genuinely interested, you're asking them questions that you want to know about their career and how you can get started, but subtly you're also promoting yourself to say, oh yes, you've achieved this success working on this particular project. What were some of the skills you used? And if they, they'll mention some of the skills, and then you have similar skills, because guess what, you've done some research on them. And then you start talking about, with my skills, this was using that particular skill, I was able to create this, do this, and achieve this result. So now what happens is that that person starts thinking, wow, this person's really great. So if they have an opportunity, they may say, hey, why don't you send me your resume, I'll refer you for that. If they don't have an opportunity, but you have impressed them with your skills, with your talent, with your communication, then they may say, hey, I may not have an opportunity right now, but when it does arrive, or I may know friends. Now, very recently, I had somebody that was in a similar state. She was trying, not getting interviews. I suggested she connect with one of my connections for an informational interview. The day she met with him for the informational interview, there were no jobs. The very next morning, she got an email from him saying, hey, guess what? There is this job. I'd like your resume. I'd like to personally refer you. So now you've created a personal reference, an industry reference. So try doing that, and let me know how it goes.
Yeah, great. I mean, amazing success stories, guys. For whoever was asking me about Meena Dowlwani's name and the how it's spelled, I have just put that up for you, so you will be able to see the spelling name. Okay, Asif Iqbal then asks me, please give us an idea of the charges for consultation by Destination CEO. And before you start, this is not a sponsored or a paid session, guys. Neither Meena has any commercial agenda from today's broadcast, neither myself. So this is just to give you an understanding. But yes, Destination CEO by itself, though it's a social enterprise and they do help out people, obviously there are charges involved and there are certain commercials involved, which you can tell as in what are your consultation charges?
I don't have consultation charges.
Okay,
my
consultation is for
darling.
free. Consultation is always for free in the sense like Meena is extremely helpful. Her LinkedIn profile is filled with testimonials of various people from various industries who have been of help. But if you were to join the program with Destination CEO of the Mentor Mentee, I think there are certain.
There are operational costs that we need to address, and for that, it's a very small fee. So just connect with me. In fact, tomorrow at 12 p.m. Canada time, I'm having an orientation. So, and it's going to be live. So join us, but you'll have to RSVP. Send me an email and I'll
Okay,
send you
so
the
what I will do is, guys, I will in the description box. So, I mean, obviously, I'm not going to do it right now because it's very difficult to do it right now. But in the description box of this particular video, there will be links to Meena's website, Meena's LinkedIn profile, and tomorrow's orientation as well. So, if you guys are interested, do join in this orientation so you can understand more about what their team does and what these people do. You can also, meanwhile, get to the website and understand much more in details and in information. Right, so the next question I'm going to take from is Goin. I'm sorry, I cannot pronounce the last name, so I'm not going to try it also. Goin, you says he is a bilingual English, so he basically speaks English and French, and he's looking for a simple job like fruit picker. Actually, he's a finance manager in an international bank. Why are you looking for a job for a fruit picker when you are a finance manager with an international bank? I mean, I can understand. And somebody else also earlier asked me, how can you get a survival job? So I'm going to assume that working as a fruit picker, you are looking for a survival job. How does one get a survival job? And then the next part would be, why would you, being an international manager, a manager, finance manager with an international bank, looking for that kind of a job?
survival job. The entire fast food industry. Hotels look for night auditors. In fact, the Marriott is having, or Larco Properties is having, a huge hospitality fair. So if you want to get into, into a survival job or into the hospitality career, February 19th may be a good day to go. But to get a survival job, you either sign up with recruitment agencies that will give you that. You sign up with nonprofit organizations that have a bunch of survival jobs, or walk into any of the stores, like I was talking, entrepreneurship, small mom and pop shops. They're always looking for people. They'll have, posters outside their doors saying help needed, pizza places, you name it. You just walk in, they have an application, you fill it out, and next thing you know, you have a job.
Okay, so finding a survival job should not be that much of an issue, because yeah, I mean, when you walk around the town, any town that you might be, there are good chances that you would be able to identify, or you would be able to see a vacancy notice on their doors, right?
Yep.
So Goyen has come back and said the reason why he wants to look for a job is because of less stress. Well, okay, first of all, Canada is a very, very strong advocate of dignity of labor. So no job is any less or beneath anybody, or there is no status attached to a particular job. I mean, you given your labor, you given your effort, and you get paid for it. So as far as the job, whatever kind of job you want to do, it's absolutely fine. You want to choose a job of a job fruit picker because it's less stress. But Goyen, it is seasonal to start with, because fruits, again, you will be not picking up fruits throughout the year. So basically, at some point of time, you will have to look for alternative jobs. That's number one. Number two, fruit picker job is very, very laborious. Okay, it sounds quite nice. Okay, I'm a fruit picker. I'm just going to pick up a cherry from one of those branches and pop it into my mouth. But it is going to be very laborious. So it might be less stress, but it's going to be a lot of hard work. But yes, again, having said that, yes, you can still find fruit picker jobs. All you need to do is go on to Kijiji. That is one website. Another one is Indeed, indeed.ca. And even if you just Google fruit picker jobs, there are tons and tons and tons of farms or farmlands in Canada who are always looking out for people who can help in their farms. So you shouldn't have much of a problem if you're looking for the job. All right. Now, the next question I have for you is, Meena, and we were just talking about this particular one, is, hello guys, just a quick query regarding the scope of work for the filmmakers and film direction. We were just
Oh my
talking about
God, this is amazing because my son is in film and television. Filmmakers and film direction, it really depends which direction you're trying to get into. You have skill set. There are tons of big channels, but also lots of small community channels that need your expertise. And specifically, if you speak a different language, this is amazing because, for example, the Indian, the Pakistani channels, which are very small over here, who have studios, the radios, they are looking for your expertise. So if you are in there, connect. Also, City of Toronto is upping their tourism and their film and television. They want to invite more companies to come to Canada and film. So the fact that you are in a different part of the world, let's say India, and you're connected with perhaps Bollywood or with the television industry, you can come over here, and when they are coming here to film their movies, you could be working with them as a technician, as industry. Universal Studio is also starting over here in Toronto. So
and art and theater and filmmaking and film festivals are huge. I mean,
huge.
All you need to do is just Google a bit, and you will see amazing number of events that happen throughout the year. I was at one, I think, a couple of weeks back, and it's mind blowing. So, do we have an international film festival which happens in Canada? In Toronto, I think
we
I've
have
seen,
the TIFF that happens
TIFF,
every year.
yes, exactly, not if but TIFF.
Yes.
Okay.
TIFF.
Yeah, the Toronto International Film Festival. Yes, we have that, and it's amazing because the red carpet sees amazing number of celebrities who come in. Yes. So, I mean, as far as your query is concerned about the scope of filmmakers and film direction, I think it's amazing. Toronto is, or not only Toronto, actually, a huge part of Vancouver as well. They are just beginning to join the mainstream filmmaking. Not to forget a very, very popular TV series called Suits, which also starred Meghan Markle. Yes. And who is now living happily ever after in Canada. It was all about filmmaking and sorry, not filmmaking, but TVs and TV series. But yes, there is a lot happening in that direction, and people are just waking up to the enormity of how big that industry is. And I think there will be much more things happening over there.
Remember, the key is strategy and research. So
Strategy and
don't forget
research.
that.
Yeah, the keywords. Okay, Shavinder says, God bless you both for this effort. Thank you, Shavinder.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Sylvia says, good job, Meena Dowlwani.
Thank you.
Excellent. Okay, then we have from Venkatesh says, please guide scope for aerospace engineers.
So yesterday, one of the things Kubeir asked me to look for were the top 10
In-demand professions.
in-demand and professions.
Yes.
The second one was aerospace.
Oh, wow. Second on the list is aerospace.
Second on the list is aerospace.
Whew. So, okay, so yesterday when we were discussing as to what we're going to do for today's session, and we were discussing what we're going to talk about, and I said one of the things that you can really look at and talk about is the in-demand professions, as in what are the most sought after occupations, professions, jobs that are happening in and around Canada, more so within Toronto, because we're both based here, or within the Ontario province. So let's run through the names, Susan. Now that you reminded me, we spoke about that.
I don't remember the 10,
Okay,
but I
yeah,
can tell
let's
you.
few of those and see which ones are in demand right now.
Software programming, so tech careers definitely. Aerospace was there. Nursing was there. Skilled trade right now is so huge. There is such a shortage.
When you say skilled trade, what do you mean exactly by skilled trade?
Electricians, plumbers. So
Okay,
those
okay.
of you that can work with your hands, right? And there's a huge demand for it. The skilled trade people that we have over here, they are retiring ages. So they are retiring and we don't have enough. Do you know another career that is really important, and it goes for our friend who wants a less stress job? It's consulting, business consulting. All
Okay.
of our business consultants, they are baby boomers, so they are retiring. We need fresh blood, we need new people to take in. And stress is about mind frame. So there again, strategy, the internal and external blocks, very important.
Okay, that's good. That's awesome. Okay, I'm just looking at another question. Aditi says, do you need a SIN number for finding a job? Well, okay, let me answer that one. SIN, social insurance number, is usually, not usually, it is given to permanent residents, citizens, and
International students.
international students and who are working in Canada, as in if you're here on a work permit, basically, because SIN number, social insurance number, attaches your financial information to CRA, which is Canadian Revenue Agency. Okay. Now, obviously, they need to know your income, your financial transactions, so that they can tax you, and obviously the taxes are paid back in several ways. But yes, SIN number would then be need if you are going to be working. To find a job, to look for a job, you don't need a SIN number. Okay, so if you haven't arrived in Canada yet, if you are still preparing to come to Canada, you don't need a SIN number to look for a job, to get an interview, arrange an interview, get your CV done, your resume done. No, you don't need a SIN number. But if you are made an offer, if the employer makes you an offer, and you are then at that process, at that point of time, you will be required to give them a SIN number so that they can attach your payroll and your salary information to your SIN number. So that's your answer for the SIN. The next question from her is, how is the scope for architects in Canada? Which provinces need architects? All provinces need architects.
There's development, right?
Yeah, there is huge development happening across Canada. So basically, all provinces need architects. But again, architecture again is a licensed profession. And if you would just go back to what I was referring to as licensed professions and what you would need to do. So unless you have secured a certification or license that allows you to practice the kind of trade or the profession that you are in, until that point of time, you can either accept a job within the similar industry which does not allow you to practice that job as such, but you are assisting the person who has. For example, you could be an assistant to an architect. Okay?
So a technologist or a technician, that's what you could do. So in terms of architect, there are certain technologies like AutoCAD and there's another one I can't remember, but I used to teach in architecture and sustainable careers. So use those transferable skills, those hard skills, the technologies that you know, and get into the field. And then you can start with your certification. So those things are very important. Remember, research and strategy starts with when you start your career.
Okay, excellent. Sachin, you're asking me about civil engineer. My friend, same answer goes for you as well when you're talking about civil engineering as well. Venkatesh is saying thank you so much. So, yeah, Meena, thank you from Venkatesh. Thank you, Venkatesh. Okay, Amaze Gus. Okay, I do not know how to pronounce that, but he is asking me, please guide the best province for musicians. Again, ties up to the previous answer we just gave about film industry, filmmaking. Musicians are also, music as an art is amazing. It's again growing. Yeah, I mean, but because Ontario or Toronto or British Columbia and Vancouver, Montreal, in Quebec, these tend to be the population hubs or centers, or they're more population centric cities. Then obviously your kind of profession would be more in demand or more appreciated if you were to go to these provinces, okay, or these cities as such. Are you
In
tired
terms,
already?
no, in terms of musician, what kind of music? And then break it down to where is that music very popular. So if it is playing the guitar, for instance, and you like to do live sessions. So you go to bars and pubs. Every bar and pub, most of them, have these live music sessions. Join them in
And there's
every.
also an
There's open
open mic
mic,
happening in
second,
most
yeah,
places, right? Yeah.
second city. There are celebration squares. So we have in Mississauga, we have a celebration square and town square, and over there, almost every night there is something happening. So get involved with those things. Again, going back to research.
Yeah. So, I mean, there are lots of other questions, guys, from you who's asking me about the scope of CPA or a chartered accountant, scope for automation engineer, scope for certified scrum master, then there is scope of chemical engineer. Well, I mean, we could basically, go
We'll
into,
be spending the entire
yeah,
day
exactly.
doing the
If
scope.
we go into all these occupations, obviously, you don't have a time, and somebody already reminded me to keep it short, otherwise people get bored. But the thing is, guys, no matter what occupation, no matter what industry you are in, uh, most industries are in demand. Okay, there is no such job which may not be in demand, because obviously Canada is growing, the economy is growing, the population is growing, and we are all spreading out. I mean, and so there is always going to be a demand. At the end of the day, maybe Meena doesn't know about every single occupation, every single job out there, whether it's in demand or not. I
Try me.
wouldn't know. Oh no, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. Okay, my bad. Okay, so he's come back and said guitar is he's playing the guitar, the musician guy. Okay,
So then maybe it's
then
live.
excellent.
So in terms of, I just want to
Jazz
add
and
in.
blues, jazz and blues, and guitar. That's what he's talking about in terms of.
Fabulous.
All right. So what I was just saying is that all these occupations, at the end of the day, the same funda, the same mantra, the same,
So
apply
make
the
a
same.
goal. Make a goal. Look at your skill set. So do a skills inventory. What are your technical skills? That's hard skills. What are your soft skills, which is your personality traits, and what are your transferable skills? Skills you can use in multiple fields, multiple settings. And based on that, that's when you start your strategy. So let's say AutoCAD is your strength, right? Then you're going to look at what are AutoCAD jobs. Yes, you're an architect or you're a civil engineer, but right now, based on, instead of going to a Tim Hortons or a survival job in a factory, look at what can you do with the technical skills you have. Let's say your soft skills, your people skills are fantastic. Your communication skills are fantastic. So maybe getting into telemarketing or into retail or into, you know, uh, business analysis could be a scope for you, could be an opportunity. So don't stop yourself. Oh, I'm a civil engineer and it's a regulated career, and what's the point? No, the point is, if you've decided to come, there is a way to get into it. That it's called EIT, right? Engineer in training. You can be a technician, you can be a technologist, get 1 year experience, and then apply for your engineering. So there are ways and means for literally any career. The bottom line is your passion. If you're passionate about something and you have the skills, you just bring those two together and start talking and networking with companies, with organizations you want to work for, with leaders in those companies, and say, this is who I am, this is what I've achieved, these are my skills. Can you guide me on how I can get started? And trust me, I do this for thousands of people and I have over 95% success. So, yes, maybe 2 or 3 people will not respond, but send out 10 messages like that, and you want to bet at least five of them will respond. And then there are meetups, there are free events. Companies are so desperate for you, for your talent, that they invite you to come to their offices for events, for hackathons, for different talk shows that they host, panels that they host. Startup culture, as I was talking to earlier, in September, sorry, in September, there is a very popular event called Startup Toronto, and that happens all over Canada, not just in Toronto, but Montreal, Vancouver, everywhere. And all the startup companies, they come together, they open their doors and invite people to come in, invite investors, invite job seekers, so that they can showcase what they're working on. They provide you food and drinks, and
Wow.
it's a fun environment.
I'm going.
Hey, you should come with me.
Yeah.
Then there are open doors. So if you're in music, if you're in architecture, if you're in history, go to open doors events where all of these beautiful places, they open their doors and they provide you with free information. Start getting to know them. So if there is a will, there is a way.
I agree
But
with that.
the will needs to be there, the uh, and you need to have a strategy. You need to believe that you'll be successful, because the minute you don't believe it, you've lost the battle.
I agree with that as well. Destinationceo.ca. That is Destination CEO. I've just typed that out for people who are asking me. I hope that helps you. Okay, let me just make this bigger so you can see this as well. Okay, that's our website address. I will also be posting the links in the description box. Now, what I want to do is, and just bear with me, I want to show you one video so that Meena can take a short break. She's all getting tired up, and I'm just gonna give you this video. And okay, come here, add a source. Just give me a moment, guys. I'm gonna show it to you.
So once I
Hi,
landed
it's
in
working.
Canada,
It's
I
working.
was very active on LinkedIn. I started adding a lot of people on my LinkedIn network who were in Toronto and Canada. So once I landed in Canada, I was very active on LinkedIn. I started adding a lot of people on my LinkedIn network who were in Toronto and Canada. And Meena and Destination CEO somehow happened to pop up in my feed on my LinkedIn feed. So that's a lot of mentors that Meena and that's how I got brought to Destination. I was able to engage with them. So by mentors, they were really, most of the mentors were really, I was given an opportunity to meet with a lot of mentors. They gave me valuable inputs as to how I should be brought in. I was able to engage with them. So by mentors, they were really tackling. Most of the mentors were really people from the industry themselves. So it was really gave me valuable inputs as to how I should be tackling from a new immigrant Canadian experience and how I should be tackling I'm here, I'm happy, and I'm proud that I was really beneficial. I am part of Destination CEO, and here I am sharing from a new immigrant and a new job. So I joined Destination CEO back in I'm here, I'm happy, and I'm proud that I was part of. I am part of Destination CEO, and here I am sharing my success story. 6 weeks. So I joined Destination CEO back in December 2019, and I got acquainted to Meena then, and we started on our 6 weeks strong, aggressive, career program where she promised us if we do what she says, we would land our dream job in 6 weeks. So I started following the steps that she guided and she asked us to do. I followed vigorously. I created a lot of PowerPoint presentations for my dream companies, and the main motivation she gave was keep applying actively on LinkedIn. So I kept doing that. I blindly followed whatever she said. So I knew I would get there. She kept motivating, she kept inspiring me. I was low for a couple of days, but she was there. If it was not for her, I don't think I would be sitting right here and even being able to tell my success story. So I kept applying vigorously, and one fine day I got an interview call from one of the employers and attended the interview, and the employer indirectly told me in the interview itself that I almost got the job. So, and next day I get an email that they are releasing my job offer and I would be joining them 2 weeks later. So yeah, it's been great so far. You will not be able to find so much of inspiration, motivation, positivity anywhere else that I have, got from Destination CEO. So I would highly recommend, and anybody who is job seeking, be it a new immigrant or a new grad from a university, I would highly recommend you to collaborate with Destination CEO, because you can really be the CEO of your own destiny.
Someone told me.
Right. Did you see this? I mean, how many of you actually saw this? And that was just to sort of give you an understanding of what all. Oh, something happened. You don't see the live video. Well, okay. Live video will be back in shortly. Just give me a moment. Why is it not in? Okay, can you see it now? What happened? Let's take a look and see what happened. Okay, Dharmendra Rana counting you. Two videos playing on at the same time. Okay, all right. So we will continue with what we were talking about, and somebody's asking me. Okay, guys, sorry with that. Sorry about that. I mean, I think there was a bit of an echo on that video, and therefore you were hearing two sounds, and I'm sorry about that. We will get this sorted out as and how we go forward. Yes, you can. Somebody's asking me. Sylvia's asking me, can we follow Meena from India? Can they follow you from India?
Please do.
Okay, you can follow her from India, no problem with that. And also, your online. Talk to me about your Destination CEO online process. I mean, online orientation and mentoring process. How does that work for people who haven't really yet come to Canada? So how can they connect with you online with that?
So every Saturday, except for today because this is special, every Saturday at 12 o'clock, I have an online orientation. There is an Eventbrite that when you connect with me, I can send to you. And we talk about the process of Destination CEO. The first week, so you can join in every Saturday. And the first week we have a session. It's usually from 12 to 2 Toronto time. So by that time, you see most people who are working in India or in Asia, they're home, they're relaxed, they've had their dinner, and then they log on. And the first week we do understanding of who you are. So we'll create a SMART goal. We'll look through those internal and external blocks that I was talking about.
Is this one-on-one? I mean, one-on-one session, or how does this work? Or you have a scheduled session and everybody joins in?
I have a scheduled session, everybody joins in, and then I have a one-on-one session with you because I need to understand what your needs are. Everybody is different. We only take 10 people in a group at one point. So every week we only take 10. And then individually, I will understand what your blocks are, where you're struggling, what are some of the challenges that you're particularly facing, and start addressing that individually with you. So in some cases, it could be, your resume and your interviewing skills are not the greatest. And then that way, first I'll get you connected to a mentor who'll review all of your job search tools, which is understanding your resume, making sure it's correct for the industry you're applying for, understanding, doing a mock interview, so to help you with your, with the stuff, interview questions, and then we start the practice. Right? In some cases, it could be that you don't have industry connections, and then I will ask you to research 10 companies you want to work for. And after you've done your research, I will connect you with people within those companies, so you can start with those guidance sessions. So everybody is different based on their blocks, but the basics, again, the first week we understand each other, you learn the process, the strategy, and then from second week you start implementing, so that by week 4, week 5, you are 100% ready. Now, if you are in Canada and you've joined week 1, the first week will be learning, but the second week will be implementation. So you are actually going to start going out for interviews. The second week would be first you're going to be interviewing with the mentors, getting prepared, getting ready, and then you're going to be interviewing for
Already?
actual jobs. Yeah, that's how it
Okay.
works.
All right. Okay. Fair enough. Already.
A lot of our mentors, I said, are hiring managers, and they are involved. Yes, they want to give back, but at the end of the day, they also want to hire. So they may have opportunities for you as well.
Okay, that's pretty cool because a lot of these mentors would have, or they would be privy to some information about their company. So what I was trying to say is, would you agree that a lot of jobs are not advertised, but they are filled internally or through their own network or through their own, whether it's their internal vacancies or through the network or the influence of people who might be involved in the recruitment process?
Kubeir, you'll be surprised, but 70% of jobs are not advertised. So there
Wow,
is a
70%?
70%
Okay,
of
that's a
jobs
huge
in
portion.
Canada.
That's a
Yes.
huge portion of jobs that people miss out on because obviously you're not connected. So if you're new in Canada, if you do not know anybody, how would you get connected?
Destination
Okay,
CEO.
so connect with you and they connect with so many people. So it's a known fact. I mean, not only in Canada, I think it's applicable across the world. So many people out there, so many jobs, so many countries, but it's a similar kind of system, right? Most of the jobs are not advertised because they get filled up within the circuit, within the circle of influence of the people or the hiring managers, or sometimes even within the company. So you always have to be connected. You always have to be networking with people who would be able to get you with this job. Now, on that, I certainly understood one more thing, or rather realized one more thing. I want to talk about two more things to Meena, and then we will log off because it's getting a bit too late for you guys, obviously, because it's past your bedtime, and it's beginning of the weekend for us. So, two things that I want to talk to her about, so which will also help you. First one is LinkedIn. LinkedIn, and she's a master at it. Okay, you have to check her out, her profile on LinkedIn, and then go through several videos and posts that she does. You did one 7-factor of LinkedIn kind of a thing, right? How you can, I mean, obviously we'll not go through all 7 factors. If you want to understand those you will come to her profile to see more of those. But give me briefly, what is the role of LinkedIn? And guys, we are going to be doing a much more detailed video on only LinkedIn a bit later on. Me and Meena will record it and then we'll post it up. It will not be a 1 hour video, so it'll be much more concise, so you can get the gist quite quickly. But very quickly, we'll just want to go on and see what is LinkedIn, how does it help you in your job search?
LinkedIn is the best, if not the best professional platform out there for networking, and gives you a lot of information about companies, about people, about leaders without a title, about references. So that I highly recommend being your first and most important career search tool. LinkedIn is also a job board, right? So having a very strong LinkedIn profile is extremely important. I'm probably going to give you one or two tips that I want you to use right now wherever you are, and let me know in the next 3 days how it works for you. Right, so first and most important is your name, and then the headline. And your headline is really your real estate. So this is where you want to put the keywords and the job titles that you'll be targeting. Then LinkedIn before used to be, there is a summary section. It's almost like about me. Now the new trend is this about me needs to be a story, not just your professional story, but a little bit about your personal and your passion, and the highlights of your tricks, of your skills and talent, and then you have your career journey, right? So one of the best ways you can network and connect with people. So let's say you're going to a conference, or you're going to an event, or you're going to a job fair, no matter where you are. And if you're not, try to go to one, and go to that dream employer booth that is over there, and just ask them if you can take a picture with them, right? Because you're there. Take that picture, ask their name, and post it on LinkedIn. Tag that company, tag that person, put a little introduction about who you are and what you want to achieve. So, for example, there's an amazing company called Soti. It's a tech company. they have presence in India. You go to a job fair, you're an IT professional, you tag Soti and say, Soti, I'd love to be a part of your organization in Toronto, and these are some of my skills. Tag the person in India, tag Soti, and guess what? Your profile will be visible to them, right? So LinkedIn has these very small, simple tools that can help you get people to endorse you. Connect with people in your network and say, hey guys, could you endorse me for 3 skills? Do you know why? Because if you are in Toronto and you are job seeking, the algorithm of LinkedIn will, when a recruiter posts, for example, Java developer, so Java as a keyword, your profile, because you have so many endorsements, will be pushed up. Another thing, set up alerts for organizations you want to work for. Why? Because when a recruiter from that company posts a position, not only will you get an alert that there is a job there, but the recruiter will get your profile saying these are the people that are interested in working for your organization.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Make sure. Now, Canada is huge, but there are certain cities that are major. So, for example, if you live in Mississauga, but you're looking for a job in Toronto, when recruiters look for profiles, they're not typing in Mississauga, they're typing in Toronto. So, if your profile says that you live in Mississauga as your location, your profile will not even show up. It's a very simple thing, but it's
I mean,
highly effective.
honestly, I didn't realize all that, but but these are the small key things that people miss out on,
Yes.
and they don't realize where all they have missed out on opportunities. And while we are on that LinkedIn, just also briefly touch about networking. So does networking have to be only online? What about physical networking? I mean, is it worth going to all these networking events that people hold, and it's happening all over the place all the time?
I highly recommend that. Not just networking online. A lot of times people don't have the time to meet with you online, but going to events, going to meetups, and connecting with people is an amazing way to meet with those hiring managers. So, for example, there is a huge panel happening, right? A conference happening, but the conference is $3,000. You can't afford to go to the conference. Do you know what you can do? You can reach out to the conference organizer and say, hey, I'd like to volunteer for your conference because I cannot. I would like to be a part of it. I cannot afford the price. And guess what? 90% of the time, you will get to attend the conference absolutely free.
Wow.
By volunteering there for 4 or 5 hours. So when we talked about no Canadian experience, that's your volunteer Canadian experience right
Awesome,
there.
awesome,
And
pretty
you
cool.
get to meet with people. And there's another thing. When you go to these conferences, there is on your LinkedIn app on your cell phone, you can even say, you can check the app and say who is here, right? Find people in this conference and you can immediately connect with those people. So there are many tips and tricks that I can teach you about LinkedIn, except this is, we don't want to go too
Yeah,
long.
no,
'Cause
we will have to sort of. We're going to do another video basically talking only about LinkedIn. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for joining in. I'm just going to take that last question from Amy, and she says, will my 10 years of experience count, or I have to start afresh? Well, this whole video for the last 1 hour and 22 minutes has been only talking about that. That you have to strategize, you have to research, set your targets, set your goals, whether you have 1 year of experience, whether you have 10 years of experience. Identify your goals and strategize how you're going to reach them. So you don't have to discount your 10 years of work experience, or you don't have to start afresh. But once you've identified where you want to go, you will be able to chart your way through that. Well, thank you so much, Meena.
Thank you, Kubeir.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for joining in. Once again, it has been a lovely one. I didn't see a lot of people today as I was expecting, but then I guess, finding jobs is not something which a lot of you might not be interested in. You should have been. You should be, because this information that Meena has shared will help, or rather can immensely help so many of you out there. I wish you all the best. I wish all the best to people who are looking for jobs, who are setting up their life in Canada, who are preparing to come to Canada. Welcome to Canada, and we will see you soon.
We'll see you soon. Thank you for joining in.